We're going to see what happens when we go in the Peddlers Mall. We ended up in Campbellsville. This is the end of the second center part of the state. So tomorrow we'll do the rest of this highway, and let's see what's in here. A lot of new stuff. It seems very organized. And let's see what, oh, hey, right there. If that's in good shape, that is a Blanco cornucopia. This is better than most of the glass I've seen. Aw, it is a chip. That's too bad. Well, that is a shame because that is a neat piece. It is Blanco. It's Winslow Anderson. This is probably a 1970s color of a 1950s piece, and it's the large size. And it was only $60, which sounds like a lot, but for that piece, that's half off of retail, and that would have been a buy. So that makes me think there's hope that maybe we'll find something else good in here. Well, this one has some vintage, and we're going to look, first of all, let's see these. These are Pennsylvania Railroad. They were used on the railroad. These are the old electric engines. They started in the 30s. This glass is from the 50s. It would have been for a cocktail after work. $8 each is maybe a good deal. I haven't had one for a while, so we might have to look that up. This rack is for Tom's, and it's 22, and display racks like this seem to really be a collectible thing right now. People are just using them for all sorts of different things. And then over here, this is Royal Copley. This is only $3 with a pithy, I think that's Edward Guest quote. The road to a friend's house is never long, unless they live way off the road. Okay, bird statue. Well, this is flamingo-ish, certainly in its stance. It's interesting that it's white. It's Japanese. Yeah, Japan would do these sorts of not pink flamingos, and that's only $5, so I think that's kind of an obvious thing to get. It looks like it's no, that's just dirt. It has to be cleaned. It was not taken care of well as far as housekeeping, but that's why it's intact, so we'll just call that a good thing. This down here looks like it might be Louisville stoneware. Yes, $29 in the great pattern. You know, they're so good and they're great to cook in, but they really don't sell for a lot more than that right now. Let's see. Oh, this is uniquely Kentucky and actually worth something. I'll probably get this too. Howdy, Colonel. It's about Kentucky Colonels. It's a toast to them and talks all about why a Kentucky Colonel is venerated, and it's $3 and these sell for $15 on eBay. So we'll take that. So this is Campbellsville cherry. This was made here in this part of Kentucky, and it doesn't have any sort of a mark, but the people around here recognize it. There were various cherry furniture companies making in the 1970s and 80s, especially in Kentucky, and the quality is really good. Look how thick the drawers are, and the dovetailing is all done by machine, of course, but the quality of all of this is pretty good. And these sold for probably double these prices when they were new. This one's $4.99 now, and the one over here as well. And then you have this solid cherry dresser at $5.99. Now this one looks like it's an antique from about 1900 with the larger drawer over the smaller drawers. So there is your mark for the McMahon Furniture Company of Campbellsville, Kentucky, that made these cherry pieces. This one has the name of the customer on the back of it who got this originally. So it's about $500 for this cherry cabinet, and this should date to sometime probably, again, around 1970. All right, let me show you why I'm not buying this. It's a little Francoma dish. It's the desert sand color, and it's only $4. Then I turn it over, and there's the 99-cent sticker from Goodwill. So you know what? Now I don't want it because I want it for 99 cents. So don't do that. Kentucky Derby glasses. Now, a few of these are pretty recent, and they're as little as $3 and $3.50. But then you get back into these. This is 1977, $5. That's the Seattle Slew one. And that's probably the oldest one I see here. This one is also 1970s. This one shows that Seattle Slew won in 1977. And question mark is going to win in 1978. This one is the 74. This one sometimes is in error. And you can tell because the last name that they put in 71, and I think this is the arrow. I believe it's kind of an arrow 2 is the Kentucky Derby winner. So that's why this one's $10.50. And when you get back before that, then they start being really valuable, and I haven't seen any for a while.
Why is this in here?
Because it is a signed Fenton piece, and it's $35, but it's a ginger jar without a lid. So I don't really know what difference it makes what price it is. Now this is Hager.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't think to look for that. I don't think Royal Hickman designed that piece. $15, back when the stork brought babies. Moon and stars, you can have your choice of not ruffled or, well, ruffled.
Oh.
Yes. This one has a stronger amberina deviation though, and this is not exactly formed the same way. So something interesting for people to see. There are restylings. I'm not sure what else we have down here. Fridge dish. This is a pretty plate from Europe, I suspect. Hand painted. And if we could read under there, that would say Ducal, which is English. I think that looks good. I think that's how they had it. Southwest Florida Fair, Fort Myers, Florida, 1975. See, they did this like an old time one because it was the same ruby flash that they used back when they did old souvenirs around 1900. But it was the King's Crown that we saw all over the place in the 70s that some people collect now. 3 of these Hildy jars for $30. Hildy stuff is collected. They did dinnerware that matched this around the 80s. Oh yes, this is almost as common as the West Bend Penguin hot and cold keeper. And then there's an owl for $3. Let's see if this is by anybody decent. It's thin. It's not as heavy as Viking would be. No, it's just cute. But I will leave that for somebody else. Okay. Yeah, I know. We've definitely seen a lot of these along the highway sale. I like this one because the bank is in the front and he's got a hat. And he is $5. He also has a baseball and a bat. This guy is made in the Philippines. Dick's Last Resort. Now, Dick's Last Resort, if we don't break anything, actually has an interesting history. I think we will take this off because I think it'll tell us something that... No, it doesn't actually. Yeah, Dick's Last Resort was some sort of a casino, I think, near the line in California and Nevada. So that would have been 60s or 70s. Well, $8.48 later, I have a white flamingo from Japan, and I have another piece. I'm starting to lose my mind because we bought so much today and shopped so much. Oh yes, the Kentucky Colonel. That is actually a cool little piece. For $3, the first one I got was $2. I sold it for $15, and this one's $3, so I'm looking forward to putting that out there. And we will have more fun like this soon. So keep watching this channel.